Hey, what's going on, good people? TC here. Thank you for joining me again for another E3 moment. And if you don't know what E3 stands for, it stands for exposure, education, and execution. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about that framework that I not just talk about, not just teach, but I believe that my life is personified in that E3 framework method. And I want to share something with you because I believe if it helped me, it also can help you because it's better when we all go up together. Now, if you have not subscribed to the channel, if you had not hit the notification bell, go ahead and do that right now because I would love to continue to connect with you and to help you on your journey to wherever that may be. And I believe this framework can help you just like it has helped me. And can I tell you something? I didn't know I could be it until I saw it. It's hard to become something that you've never seen. That's why I want to jump into a part of this framework today, which is exposure. Now, watch this. The key thing about exposure is not that you're being exposed, but what are you being exposed to? That is the key. That's the key. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the architecture of exposure. The architecture of exposure. You know, within the framework, exposure, it wakes you up. Education, it builds you up. Execution, it takes you up. But I just want to deal with the exposure piece first. I want you to eat an elephant one bite at a time. And I don't want to just overload you with information because there's a plethora of information out here online now, man. And I want to make sure I have good use of your time and give you something that you can apply to your life right now that will give you proven results, you know, not in a month, not in a year, but, you know, that you can see the difference on tomorrow, man. So that's why I want to talk to you about that, the architecture of exposure. And like I said earlier, it's not about you just being exposed. It's what are you being exposed to? Because let me say this, the first thing about the architecture of exposure is what you see sets your ceiling. You can't go higher than what you see. It is very, very important that you get that. What do you see? If the only thing that you see in your life is the basement floor, then that is your ceiling. Through this conversation today, I want to see if we can reset what your ceiling is. Now I want what used to be your ceiling now to become your floor. You know, they used to say the sky's the limit, but why stop there when they've discovered that there are footprints on the moon? Now, whether you're a conspiracy theorist or not, I think it's just a good thing to say. Why stop at the sky where you can go to the moon? Yeah, good stuff. But listen, what you see sets your ceiling. And then beyond that, this is really what I just want to tell you real quick. Listen, because the right exposure, it shapes your vocabulary. So what you see starts to shape what you say. What you see starts to shape what you say. Can I tell you this? The best thing that ever happened to me is when I was forcefully taken out of my familiar context and put into a context that I knew absolutely nothing about. Oftentimes, our comfort is also our cap. Let me say that again. Our comfort is also our cap. And if you follow me, I use the story that when I was 9 or 10 years old, my mom used to take me around and she used to teach me how to program people's VCRs, and they would pay her like 20 or 30 bucks, and I would go through and program the VCRs. If you know what the VCR is, you know, had a cassette tape you had to push in, and the program, little dip switches on the front for the month, the day, you know, and the time, that kind of stuff, man. Almost took a master's degree just to program your VCR back in the day. But you don't have to worry about that anymore. You just hit a button, record, stream, rewind, pause, whatever, download, come back, get it. That did not exist back in the early 80s, man. And so, but what was that? That was just a glimpse of my technological prowess that I had. But watch this, I never seen it on a grander scale. when I became an adult and then I had an interview for a job that I was able to see that on a grander scale, they hired me, they educated me, and then they told me to go execute. And so watch this. That information, it shaped my vocabulary. Now I started speaking in technical terms such as, network topology and IP addresses and Active Directory and, and SSL certificates and things like that. And so it shaped my vocabulary. So now what used to be my ceiling became my floor. And so let me tell you something. If you want your ceiling to be raised, you have to change what your rhetoric is. And that means seeing something different. When you see something different, now you start saying something different. There's an architect. So watch this. You got to see it in order to say it. You have to see it in order to say it. Get out of your comfort zone. And there may be some things happening right now that's forcing you out of your comfort zone. Look at that as fuel and not frustration. Yeah, take that as fuel and not frustration, and go and see something you've never seen before, so you can say something you've never said before, so you can do something you've never done before, so you can have something you've never had before. That's what the architecture of exposure produces on the back end. Having something you never had because you've done something you've never done, you said something you never said, and you saw something you never seen. That is absolutely powerful, because you got to understand something, that your vocabulary determines your execution. Y'all remember that nursery rhyme, or the little cartoon as a kid about the little engine that could, what did he keep saying over and over and over again when he hooked up to those train cars and was going up that hill? Guess what the little engine that could kept saying? I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. What you say matters. Words matter. As a matter of fact, words are matter. There's been an absolutely scientific test that when you speak positive, watch this, they put two petri dishes side by side, and one you spoke negative words over and the one you spoke positive words over. The one you spoke the positive words over, it formed these crystals that they were so congruent. It was a nice system. It was a beautiful, beautiful picture. But the negative words, things were incongruent. The crystals weren't forming. They were seen to be deformed, different size and different shapes. Because I'm telling you, words matter. Stop saying to yourself, you can't, you're not worth it, you're never going to do it. Because watch this, you can't go higher than what you say. You will operate at the level of your vocabulary. Stop cussing so much. Stop using profanity so much, man. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. I'm discovering, watch this, because I used to be one who used profanity all the time. I used to use it all the time. The priest used to cuss. I sure did. I used to cuss because I just wanted to. It wasn't really no reason. Just wanted to cuss. But watch this. I discovered I had a limited vocabulary. But man, as I started, educating myself and exposing myself and getting into different places where I felt uncomfortable, where I felt like I was the smallest person in the room, that's a blessing, by the way, I began to say, you know what? I traded in working in construction to now working on computers. There's nothing wrong with working in construction, but I realized that I had a greater ceiling than that. And I'm telling you, if you're watching this, there's a greater ceiling. There's a higher ceiling. Your current ceiling is about to become your current floor, because we're about to raise the bar. You're about to raise the bar. You're about to raise the bar. And I'm almost finished, y'all. I just want to say this. No one can articulate or describe what they have never encountered. You cannot articulate or describe what you have never encountered. Now, you can try to fudge it. You can try to fake it. But let me tell you something. People can detect true authenticity. Like, I haven't been to Hawaii yet, but I know people who've gone to Hawaii. But I can't wait to get there. I'm going to Hawaii. Listen, I just went to South Africa for the first time just a few months ago, and I knew people that went to South Africa. They told me about the trip. But man, I can describe it in more vivid detail because I actually went there. I saw it. I saw the white lines with my own eyes. I saw a hyena with my own eyes. I used to think a hyena was the size, of a German Shepherd or something. Man, was I wrong. So I have a whole different perspective and respect because I saw it with my own eyes. I know what a grape tizer tastes like. I know what an appetizer tastes like. I know what a quarter is now. The sandwich itself that's stacked so high. Listen, these double cheeseburgers ain't got nothing on the quarter in South Africa. I know what that is. I know what Malva pudding is. I know what it tastes like because I experienced it. And when you experience it, you can articulate it. You become, watch this, believable because of the authentic experience that you're communicating from what you were immersed in yourself. I'm telling you, don't rob yourself of your greater genius. Don't do that. Because the architecture of exposure, that's the first part of this framework. If you've ever seen a building built or a house built, once they lay the foundation, the next thing they start doing is they start framing it. Because watch this, the only thing that matters at that particular time is what's in the frame. Everything else is null and void. It doesn't matter. It's not in focus. I'm only concentrating on what's in the frame. So today, my friends, in the midst of all of this noise, in the midst of all of this chaos, in the midst of wars and the rumors of wars and what's going on all of the news outlets, you have to concentrate on what's in the frame. The first part is exposure. What am I looking at? And then I'm going to educate myself on what I've been exposed to. And then once I've been exposed, final thing, I'm going to execute at the greatest level I possibly can. Because watch this. I see it, now I can say it. I say it, I'm going to do it. And I do it so I can have it. Not just for you, so that you can be a blessing to somebody else. And I conclude with this, because there's somebody out there waiting for your genius to emerge. Whew. That's amazing. That's amazing. Listen. This is TC here with your E3 moment, and man, I'm just so excited to be able to share this with you. Listen, if you want, I got tools that also help you as well. Listen, we just developed an app called the E3 7-Day Sprint Wizard. If you go to E7 Sprint.com, you can see it right there. Listen, if you want to see the demo, drop it down in the comment section and I will drop the demo link right there for you so you can see the demo, man. Because listen, it will take you from stuck to start in just 7 days. I do understand that life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. But watch this. But there are micro bursts that marathons have within it to allow people to finish. And that's what this tool does. It gives you micro bursts to allow you to stay consistent on this marathon that we call life. All right, y'all, I got to get out of here. But before I go, I want to encourage you that lack is not an option, but abundance is your natural state. This is TC, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.